Check out this blast from the past. Coast to Coast, hitting screens back on October 3rd, 1980, is a wild ride you've got to hear about. Picture this: a ritzy lady with a knack for laughter, played by the one and only Dyan Cannon, busts out of an asylum and hits the road heading west. She teams up with a tough, over-it trucker, played by Robert Blake, who's just trying to get his cattle across the country. Talk about an odd couple. But here's the real scoop. Critics have had their say, and it's a mostly negative. Roger Ebert threw some love at Dyan Cannon, saying she's totally owning her roles these days. But the movie, not so much. He wished she had more to work with. IT sounds like the soundtrack might be worth a listen though, with Mike Hughes from Gannett News advising to maybe just snag the tunes and skip the flick. Dale Stevens from the Cincinnati Post wasn't feeling it either, calling out the film for being a bit too loud and a bit too muddled. And over at the New York Times, Richard Shepard was left wanting more, saying the film kinda just pops up and disappears, without leaving much impact. But hey, it's not all tough news. Joe Baltacki from the Philadelphia Daily News actually had a good laugh with it, praising Coast to Coast for its comedy chops. With a production that didn't break the bank, but made a modest splash at the box office. And Dyan Cannon herself learning to drive a massive truck for the role, you can tell there was some heart put into this project. Talk about commitment. And for trivia buffs, here's a fun fact. The flick was originally supposed to be a drama, but after Robert Blake jumped on board, they switched gears to comedy. Think they made the right call? Unfortunately, the movie didn't snag any awards and even saw Robert Blake nominated for a Razzie for Worst Actor. Yikes. But hey, if you're curious, Coast to Coast is up for grabs. You can catch it for free on YouTube. Give it a watch and see what you think. Maybe you'll find it's your new guilty pleasure.